Hi and welcome to the Monday Live. And we are in pre-emptember, so we're talking preempt for the most part in this month. I of course pick a topic on that, and we are defending against week twos. In fact, we did week twos this time last year, and it felt as if it was well and truly due, because it's something you usually do a bit earlier. But yes, we're defending against them, but please do send any preempting hands in. Of course, they come up all the time, and what's interesting is that we're actually encountering them in our Friday's topic as well, because on Friday we're going to be moving on to the negative doubles at slightly higher levels. So we've been dealing with negative doubles, bit of a suit double. But what happens when it goes one heart jump to two spades, or one club jump to two spades? And for that matter, what happens when it goes one club, three spades? So these annoying preempts, they come in all sorts of sizes and shapes, and we do them all ourselves, so we can't complain. The aim, ideally, is to be on the right side of these kind of bids as many times as possible. So you want to be preempting and upsetting your opponent's auction, but you also want to be managing the opponent's preempts in the best way you can. So we'll look at that today. As usual, we do a little bit of a summary of what's in the big seminar. So sorry if it's a repetition for those of you who already looked at that. And then throughout the rest of the month, we try to tap into some of the questions that you ask on the seminar, or just take the topic a little bit to the right or to the left. We've got our usual suspects today. So we've got the 5-level decision, the carryover from Friday. We've got the little seminar, and then we'll have the bidding quiz at the end. So what's happening with me? Well, I'm off to Denham at the end of this week. Friday to Sunday, but of course I don't leave usually until about 1 o'clock, so I'll do my Friday live at the normal time, and so hopefully see a few of you in Denham. That's just in Uxbridge down in the south. What else is happening? Well, we're relatively calm at the moment, but there are various things happening soon. So obviously the first time I'm away is going to be around half-term time, just before that, Portugal. And why am I showing you this? Well, it's because it's the very first event that we will be running as a traveller agent, or tour operator, I should say. The original Portugal trip had to be cancelled because it was organised by a different tour operator, and obviously we were frustrated because they had gone bust or had ceased trading as a tour operator. So all of those got cancelled. So sorry for those being upset, but now we've been able to offer it to everyone. So we've got at least more than half, hopefully, of the originals on it, and there's space for anybody who fancies it. So I know it's short notice, but we should have some great fun there, and my family will join me for the week after as well. So I'll even manage to fit in a holiday. But there's all sorts of things going on, and you will see we're off to Ireland for the first time, and again, if that goes well, hopefully we will revisit, who knows. And we've got cruises, of course. My first cruise, I think, next year is in May. That's going to Scandinavia. So there's all sorts of things. Please do check it out. They're quite exciting. The cruises, as always, at the moment with Fred Olsen, we are now a tour operator. We can do what we want. So we're excited about that. Bear with us as we get used to it. You'll be able to speak to the office, of course. Got lots of new people in. We have a young lady called Tracy who's joined us, which is exciting. She's just next door. Actually, she won't be on the phones yet, but another new member, and we're still looking for another. So you'll be able to talk to all sorts, whether it's Gary, Katrina, Megan, Sarah, Mark, various people in the office. Some are more likely to talk to you than others, but there's no reason for that. It's just that some are busier doing other things. As you can imagine, there's all sorts going on, but they can talk to you about whether it's the holidays abroad or the cruises or the UK events. So that's pretty exciting, isn't it? Okay, so I think we go to the 5-level decision. Let's do that. So this one in a way, there's elements of guesswork. We'd love to bid these hands scientifically, but when the opponents come in, as you're going to see, it makes our life difficult. What should we open with this hand? It's a really interesting one, because if you know your opponents are going to interfere with the bidding, I think probably opening 2 diamonds is best. Partner, I feel I'm worth a game by myself. Excuse me. I apologise for that. However, if you're making a plan to bid it, you might feel that opening 2 clubs, if you're playing Benji, opening 2 clubs and rebidding 2 hearts then allows you to rebid 3 diamonds later. So we'll decide to open it 2 clubs. But as you're going to see, things are going to accelerate annoyingly, and this is what sometimes happens. So South bids 2 spades, North bids 4 spades, and it's your bid. As you can see, both sides are non-vulnerable. So it's an interesting one. So have a little think. 2 clubs, 2 spades, 4 spades. So we will revisit that after the seminar. In many ways, yeah, I mean, there's going to be an element of guesswork to how we finalise where we play, but it's whether you want to play in 4 spades doubled, move on, etc., or whether you want to play at the 5 or 6 level. So we'll see. Okay, let's manoeuvre to the seminar. Defending against weak 2s. It's coming up more and more, of course. You're expecting to play against these. What's interesting is the defence to 2 spades and the defence to 2 diamonds can be very different, okay? Because when you're coming in over a weak 2 spades, you're looking at playing at the 3 level. Obviously, over 2 diamonds, you can be much more flamboyant, as it were, because it's easier, shall we say, to defend against, and you can bid 2 hearts and 2 spades, etc., etc. So what we have to remember is, what does a weak 2 show? Because that is fundamental to how we defend against it. I do the same if I'm defending against weak 3s as well. You know, remind yourself what you usually have if you open a weak 2, and the answer is very little defense. Okay, so the ideal weak 2, to be honest, is king, queen, jack to 6 and nothing else. And if you've got that, you're sort of telling your opponents, look, I can't make many tricks against your contract. So that is what I want you to bear in mind whenever your opponents preempt. They're sort of inviting you into the auction because they haven't got much. Now, of course, their partner might have a strong hand, and that can be the awkward thing. But I do want you to bid aggressively. However, that does not mean bidding on weak hands. It means if you've got 11 or more points, I want you to try to make a bid. So I want you to have opening strength or better, or close to opening strength or better. So when I say bid aggressively, I mean try to get in the auction if you have a better hand than them. I don't want you bidding on 4 or 5 points. That's when it goes all horribly wrong. Okay, so if they make a preempt and you then preempt that preempt, as it were, okay, your partner is left completely blind. Because when you make a bid over a preempt and I've got an opening hand, I'm going for game or I'm doubling the opponent's. Okay, so bear in mind you have a partner. It's the same if I preempt. If I make a preempt and I've got 15 points, my partner's not going to be very happy. So we've got to describe our hand. So when I say bid aggressively, I am saying if you've got close to an opening hand, you've got to think about trying to come in, because actually my opponent is saying he hasn't got much. Okay, so what is our system? Our system, of course, is a double for takeout. We'll play it. It's the most flexible. It means that when you're long in spades, so 2 spade opening, if I've got 5 spades in my hand, I feel I can pass because my partner will be short and my partner will be able to make a takeout double. So quite often, as we'll see in one hand today, you can get a penalty double even though you're playing takeout doubles. Sounds odd, but it works. Overcalls generally should be a 6-card suit, but can be 5 cards if you've got a good hand. If you've got 13, 14 points with 5-card major, certainly over 2 diamonds, you can certainly bid 2 hearts or 2 spades then. at the 3 level, you've got to be careful, but if it's a strong suit and you've got a strong hand, sometimes you feel you've got to do it, okay, but you'd like 6. And the 2 no trump overcall is strong, don't forget, because we don't preempt to preempt. So if they've opened a weak 2, I don't want to be bidding 2 no trumps with 5-5 in the minors, okay. I need a strong balanced hand bid. Okay, now I know you've got 3 no trumps, but generally that's going to be on your 19-20 points, where you think, partner, even if you've only got 5, I can make 3 no trumps. Okay, the 2 no trump bid, sort of strong no trump kind of strength, sort of 15 to 18, 15 to 19. I mean, if I'm honest, it's probably a bad 16 to a good 18. It's got to be wide because your opponents have taken half the auction away. That's the problem. At the 1 level, you feel you've got space. You can double and bid no trumps. You can bid 1 no trump. You've got all sorts. Once they've opened a weak 2, suddenly it can go 2 spades past 3 spades. So you feel you do need to get it. Okay, so let's look at this auction without a weak 2, and then we'll just do it with a weak 2. Okay, so West opens 4-4-4 one hand, the middle suit, and we have a nice and accurate auction. It would go a diamond, a heart. We can then count our losers, and with 13 points and a singleton, we would jump to 3 hearts. And East, of course, is better than 6 points. Obviously, with 11 points, can bid 4 hearts. It's a nice and accurate auction. Those are the kind of auctions we like. Unfortunately, one of the jobs of our opponents is to make our life difficult, and that's important. And so, yes, it is odd to think that in modern bridge that you can just abuse your opponents by just bidding on nothing, but the scoring system is set for that way, and I think it's brilliant. It makes that game so much more exciting. So instead, the auction goes 2 spades from south, but this hand is relatively straightforward. I hope here it would go 2 spades from south, a nice double for takeout from west. And whether, even if north bids 3 spades here, East is able to bid 4 hearts. So comfortable bidding. What is less comfortable is when it goes 4 spades, because then you've got judgments to make, and that's what the 5-level decision is all about, of course. If they do bid 5 spades, what do we bid? Well, it would probably go pass, double from East, because East is the one who knows what's going on. East has 11 points and his partner's made a takeout double, showing an opening hand. But it can be difficult to judge. Here, 5 hearts might go off, but I haven't given you any vulnerability, but it's so difficult when people are preempted. It makes our life so difficult. All right, that's why we love doing it. Okay, so the takeout double, shortage in their suit. Really important that. It's fundamental to your takeout double. Okay. The only exceptions would be if you've got 21, 22 points. A really strong hand, you double first and then you're going to bid again. Okay, and that's the same at the 1 level. When you've got super strong hands, you double to get your partner to show something and then you rebid. Ideally, it should be 13 or 14 points, but including shape. I've said 13 high card points here. Over 2 diamonds, you can be down to 11. So over a weak 2 diamonds, it's the same strength as you would require over a 1 level bid. Over 2 hearts, it's probably about the same. Over 2 spades, probably you want to just up it by another point to 12 high card points or 13. But if you've got that singleton, if you've got the singleton, 4-4-4-1 shape, for example, I'm adding 3 points on for the singleton. I am assuming that we have a fit, and it's not an unreasonable assumption. If you've got 4-4-4-1 in the unbid suits, your partner is likely to have 4 cards at least in one of those suits 90 to 95% of the time. And sometimes he'll have such good spades anyway that he's happy with your double anyway. So we add on for the shape, and that's the crucial. Something like a 4-4-3-2 shape, very different though. Then I'm looking for more like 13 high card points. Can you see the difference? Okay, so 13 high card points or 14 points including your shape. So if you've got that singleton. Ideally about 6 losers, but sometimes you're going to push the boat out, maybe over 2 diamonds and 2 hearts. You might do it on a 7 loser hand. But bear in mind, if you've got that singleton, you'll find that often you only have 6 losers. And you should be happy supporting all of the suits. So let's look at a minimum type of hand. This is over 2 hearts. I'd feel over 2 spades you're pushing it. So if you rotate the majors and it was a 2-spade bid, you may still bid, and that's not unreasonable, but bear in mind you're pushing your side to the 3 level and partner might go for it. So it's very much borderline if this was over 2 spades, over 2 hearts. I think it's okay. You've got the 4 spades. Hopefully you've got a spade fit. If you haven't, you can play in 3 of the minor. Don't forget that rule that if your opponents have a fit in hearts, okay, then it's always right for us to compete to the 3 level. So even if you bid to 3 diamonds or 3 clubs between you here, if it goes off, well, of course, 2 hearts might have been making. Okay, so you are going to double, hopefully, with the set. If it's 2 spades, I've added a point here. Again, your minimum depends on your style as a partnership. Okay, I'm going to be honest, I tend to be quite aggressive with my takeout doubles, so I might still have doubled here with just 11 high card points. Once you go to 10, you shouldn't be bidding. Okay, you will just get yourself into trouble. Remember, it'll often go 2 spades, double from you, 4 spades, double from partner, expecting to get them down because he's placing you with an opening hand. So if you've only got 10 high card points, you might be letting your partner down. Okay, so remember, you've got to have a minimum point count. So it's like opening the bidding. If you start opening on 8 points, partner's not going to know what's going on. Okay. So here another classic takeout double. Remember, these are the classic shape though. What's awkward is when you haven't got quite that 4-4-4-1. Now, last hand bidding, really important aspect of preempting. We've dealt with it so many times, and I'd love to have hands sent in on it, because when it goes 2 hearts, pass, pass, I desperately want the last player to try hard here. Particularly when you're short in hearts. If you're long in hearts, don't worry. Your partner should have made a bid. Okay, and quite often, the reason neither of you are bidding is because the responder to the week 2 has 14 or 15 points. Okay, and actually the preemptors preempted their partner. Okay, so bear that in mind. But if you're short in hearts, you've got to remember your partner maybe has 3 or 4 hearts, and even with as many as 14 points will not have a bid available. If your partner's got a balanced hand with 14 points, he can't bid anything. Okay, and therefore we have to borrow some points from our partner, because if there's no bidding, partner surely must have something. So we're going to borrow a king, add 3 points to your hand. So what I'm saying to you here is that if you've got 4-4-4-1 hand with just 8 points, I'm thinking about bidding. Does that make sense? So I want you now, as a partnership, if you're in a regular partnership, by all means chat and decide what the lowest you're doing it on. But I will do this with 8 points here. With a singleton heart, don't forget, it must be that singleton heart. Okay, so here I've given you 9, I'm feeling generous. It goes 2 hearts, pass, pass. And you've got to say to yourself, where are the points? Now, of course, don't forget, if it goes 2 hearts, pass, and the responder to the 2 heart bid thinks for a long, long time and passes, the chances are they've got a 15-16 in count and they're thinking, should I go for game or not? And you might decide to yourself, okay, maybe I'll pass. But if it's a normal 2 hearts, pass, pass, you are thinking, look, partner is going to have probably 10 or 11 points here. This could be a 20-20 hand. Okay, I have got the perfect shape. I am going to borrow 3 points from my partner. I have 9 points. Add 3 points is 12. Add 3 points for a singleton is 15. I've got too much to bid, kind of thing. I'm doubling. Okay, and that's important because it makes such a difference. You'll have accidents. Please bear in mind you'll have accidents. But it's great fun bidding. Okay, and don't forget, so just leave that. Don't forget, even if you go down, you might get a good score. You've only got 9 points. If your partner's only got 9 points, they'll probably make 2 hearts. 1 off will be a good score. Maybe even 2 off will be a good score. Okay, so here's a hand. 2 hearts. West to bid over 2 hearts. Now, it might be tempting to bid double here, okay, but it's not right. Okay, you have relative length in hearts. If you double, most of the time your partner bids clubs. Okay, now here, partner might respond in spades, but if he bids clubs, you are completely stuck. You might think, well, I'll bid diamonds. Well, if you double and rebid a suit, we saw that on a Friday quite recently. If you double and bid your own suit, you are showing a strong hand. Your partner then bids 3 no trumps and you regret ever having bid. So you should pass. trust your partner. Hopefully your partner is one of those partners that when he's short in hearts, he reopens with a double. Okay, so here it would go pass, pass. You're not the perfect shape, but you have adequate support for all of the suits. You have a singleton in their suit, and you have 10 high card points. So if you borrow that king, that's a comfortable double. Okay, and of course we would, I think, West, with just 6 losers himself, even if you've borrowed a king, has enough to maybe jump to 4 spades there. Okay, or if you prefer, bid 3 hearts on the way. If you're, bidding the opponent's suit to say, partner, I think game is on, so it might go 3 hearts, 3 spades, 4 spades. Okay, but that's the way it should be bid. I know at some tables it might go double and you would get to spades possibly on this hand, but on another hand, I give your partner just 3 cards spades support there and 4 diamonds. He will bid 3 clubs with that hand, and really you'll be a bit stuck. Okay, so this is another classic hand. Okay, 2 hearts, pass. Really important there. Your double is for takeout. If you double here, East will bid 4 spades. So you must pass with the West hand. And what you're passing is, you pass in tempo. That's important. If you think too long, your partner's going to be compromised, although here it's relatively clear cut, but depending at the level you're playing. But if you think too long, partner will often pass thinking, well, I shouldn't make a bid because partner's told me he's got something. A confident pass, nice and smooth, allows it to go pass, pass. And the reason it's confident pass from West is because West is looking forward to hearing his partner double. Remember, we're expecting South to have King Jack to 6 hearts. You've got Ace Queen 10 9. How many hearts has your partner got? Probably just 1 or 2. So hopefully he's going to borrow a king and make that takeout double. And what do? And this is important because a lot of people will bid no trumps here, thinking, well, I'm going to bid no trumps, of course. I've got hearts stopped. But I think whatever the vulnerability here, even if you were non-vulnerable against, if you were vulnerable against non-vulnerable, I would still be passing the takeout double because I am expecting to make 4 heart tricks in hearts. In no trumps, I won't. In no trumps, they might not even lead hearts, but even if they lead hearts, I'd have to work to establish them, and I might make 3 tricks. But with hearts as trumps, you're sitting over South. So whatever the South does, well, I mean, there could be some kind of end play at the end of it, I suppose, on a bad day, but essentially most of the time you make 4 heart tricks there, a club trick, maybe even a diamond and 2 spades, who knows? You can imagine taking it 4 off. Okay, it's Lovell, the vulnerability here, but notice that there's no reason to think that 3 no trumps is making, and as you can see here, 3 no trumps would be an awful struggle. If the opponents find a diamond lead at some point, they're going to establish their diamonds, and you are going to have a real struggle. So when you've got wonderful trumps and you're particularly sitting over the opponents, it's a wonderful thing to be able to pass confident that your partner will try hard to make a bid for you. Okay, so let's just cover the other aspects and then we will call that a day. So the 6 card overcalls, ideally 6 cards and opening strength. Clearly, if you've got a strong hand and you've got a good 5 card suit, well then of course you can bid that as well, particularly at the 2 level. You can sometimes bid at the 3 level, but particularly at the 2 levels. So this is why I say the weak 2 diamonds is a less invasive bid, because of course you can bid those suits in the majors at the 2 level. 2 spades over 2 hearts, or obviously 2 hearts, 2 spades over 2 diamonds. Remember though, we don't bid on weak hands. So even if I have a weak 2 diamonds against me, if I've got 8 points and 5 hearts, I'm not bidding. It's not my job to. Remember, if I've only got 8 points, there's only, let's say, 6 points on my right. Someone's very strong here. And if it's my partner's going to make a bid. If it's not my partner, do I want to be in the auction? 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, a double for penalties, should be opposite a weak 2. You could be in real trouble straight away. So don't preempt to preempt. What that means is once the opponents have preempt, our bids against them are strong. Okay, well, they are strong. Okay, we've been mentioning Laban's responses to to a double. We might mention those over the next couple of weeks, because we did talk about those. We've had various encounters with Lebensol, or Leb Light as I like to use, and we may have a look at those over the next couple of Mondays. Okay, with 2-no trump bid is 16 to 18 with a stopper. As I say, we'll often stretch that to a good 15 and a bad 19, because it needs to be quite range. So its basic strength is 16 to 18. The 2-no trump overcall must have a stopper, ideally 2, but you only have to have 1, particularly if you've got the ace. So if you've got ace to 3 in spades and they open 2 spades, that is absolutely fine. One of the main reasons for that is quite often the weak 2 bidder won't have a side entry. So with the ace, you're able to duck and keep them off lead, okay? And the descriptive nature of the 2-no trump bid is a wonderful thing. Okay, so let's look at simple examples of that. 2 spades from south, and it's your bid, and you have a classic bid here. Take away the ace of clubs here. We are not overcalling. We've just got 8 points, we've got a weak 2, we pass. If partner then reopens the bidding or asks us to bid, then we come in. Really important that. But here with an opening hand and 6 cards, 3 hearts is a simple bid. And here, and what's important here is with 12 points, your partner can then confidently go for game. Okay, there we go, 4 hearts. 2 hearts from south. And hopefully you've got a classic bid here, don't you? 2-no trumps partner. I have a nice balanced hand. With a double stopper, hopefully in hearts most of the time. You'll have ace jack to 6 in the heart. The south hand, you're sitting over it, so those king and queen should supply a double stopper. Okay, your partner can use conventions if your partner so wishes. Here, with no length in the majors, partner can just bid 3 no trumps. Okay, nice and simple auction to the best contract. Okay, so let's sum up what our system is. That was my little summary of the start of the big seminar. Of course, the big seminar then goes on to other things, talking about responding and how we deal with things. We'll also mention the Q-bid. We didn't spend much time in the seminar on that. So the Q-bid, which shows a 2-suitor. So bidding aggressively against preempt, ideally, remember that does not mean bid with weak hands. It just means make sure you come in with your opening hands or better. Do not be priced out of the auction just because they've pushed you higher. I love borrowing a king when I'm last in hand, when you're short, okay? When I double for takeout, I want you to respond. Now, if you know that passing is correct, that is okay. That is a positive choice. But it must be a positive choice. So I don't want you with a 1 count thinking, I don't know what to do, so I'll pass. Because pass is doing the opposite of what I want you to do. So you have to be able to support that bid, as in I've got ace, queen, 10, 9 of their suit partner, which we saw. That means I'm happy. So when you pass, I confidently defend and we get a nice 800. Okay, but I don't want you passing because I might have a 25 count and be just about bidding 3 no trumps, and instead we allow them to make 2 hearts doubled, which of course is a game contract. You've got to accept that both when you preempt, but also when we come in against preempts, things will go wrong. Sometimes they open a 2-spade preempt, it goes pass 4 spades, and I'm looking at a hand thinking, I'm going to bid here. I'm going to bid. Okay? The problem is that sometimes the 4-spade bidder has 19 high card points. And on other times, the 4-spade bidder has 3 points, a void and 4 card support for spades. It's really hard. So if you come in over 4 spades with 5 clubs and it turns out the guy has 19 points and he doubles you and you go for 800, it is what it is. Things will go wrong. The most important point is to enjoy it. And this is what I always say to any partnership whenever I do this kind of topic is enjoy it. As a partnership, enjoy it. Accept that you should have a minus 800 every month. Now, if you play regularly, 3 or 4 times a week, it should be every week. But every month, if you play once a week, you should expect to get a minus 800 once. Okay, and the reason for that is, well, assuming you have opponents that double you, the reason for that is that you're trying hard to bid. And remember that minus 500 often gets you a top. If the opponents can make a vulnerable game, you're happy with minus 500. And so you're only one trick out if you're minus 800. So get into the habit of enjoying your minus 800s. And if you do, you'll bid more. Okay. Hopefully you'll stopping getting lots more, because I know there's some of you out there who get 5 minus 800s a month. Okay, so that's different. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That's our little introduction, as it were, into this topic. And please do send your hands in. Please do, because it's great fun for me to have a look at. I'll always send you a response, and I will use some of them at the end of the month. Now, I'm still want to mention to you about the clubs. So I want you to email me, please, about your clubs, etc. And I'd love to include clubs on our Mondays lives. So just to have a club that I mention, we give you a free subscription to someone who's never been with us before. And if you send us in a hand, we'll discuss it and that kind of thing. So please, send us in the details. You don't have to do anything. That's all. We don't even have to mention the name of the club if you don't want. But the idea is to mention a club, and just to say a shout out. Hopefully, you get a few people at the club to watch us. So please do send in about that. I'll keep going on about that. I'll probably be starting it at the beginning of the new year, and we'll see where we go with it. But I thought it would be a nice thing to include on our Monday lives. Okay, let's look at the five level decision. I think this is tricky. So the bidding's gone 2 clubs from you or 2 diamonds. I don't mind whichever you prefer. 2 spades, 4 spades. Now the first thing to say is your partner's going to be short in spades here. I mean, you've got to assume your opponents have some form of normal bidding. You'd expect them to probably have 8 or 9 spades, more usually 9 spades you would have thought for this auction, because of North's jump to 4 spades. So bearing that in mind, you've got no spade losers. Surely partner's got a fit for one of your red suits. And clearly if partner is shorter, so if partner has 4 hearts and 4 diamonds, there's going to be 2 losers. A lot of the time here you could make a slam though, and that's the crucial element. You give your partner, if your partner happens to have 5 cards in one of those 2 suits, I think you're favourite for a slam, aren't you? So how do you know? I'm not sure it's easy to know, but I think the crucial thing for me is I'm not going to take the money here. So I think double here is probably saying, look, partner, we're taking 4 spades down. And the problem is you can't really play that as takeout, because if you've got a balanced hand with 23 points, you want to play in 4 spades doubled. Do you know what I mean? And you don't want partner taking out. So I don't think I can afford to double here. I mean, I may well, it's non-vulnerable against vulnerable, I may well take them 3 off. But if one of them's got a singleton, and there's a good chance they have, I can only guarantee 5 tricks here. So, I can't be sure of getting 500. I think the chances of a slam are so relatively high that it's reasonable. Now, a number of people bid 5 spades, which completely commits to the slam. I think I would bid 4 no trumps here. And I would hope to gather. So, for example, if I bid 4 no trumps, that shows a 2-suiter. It does not promise the minors. Partner should bid the lowest suit he's happy with. Now, if, for example, partner didn't bid clubs, now I'm expecting partner to bid clubs, and that's exactly what John's suggesting. Yes, but then I bid 5 diamonds, and that asks partner to bid his favourite suit out of diamonds and hearts. Remember, if I don't like clubs, I must like the other 2 suits. If my partner bids 5 diamonds, I will bid 6 diamonds, because clearly if partner's not happy playing in clubs and is happy in diamonds and hearts, partner must have quite a lot of diamonds. Remember, we're putting partner with at most 1 spade. And if partner was 4-4-4-1, we'd expect partner to bid 4 clubs. If partner just bids a direct 5 hearts, he shouldn't really do that unless you've got some. But I would bid 4 no trumps here. If they bid on, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Yes, I'm not sure I agree with my partner's bid there, but the good news is because he's bid it, I'm going to bid 6 hearts. I think I might have had both minors, you see. Oh, but the key here is partner can pass the double, so I don't know what the double means. But what it does mean is partner could have passed. So any bid my partner makes is great news because it's a really positive bid. But I don't think partner should have been bidding 5 hearts, but as he's bid it, I'm going to bid 6 hearts. Well, Southie's doing a lot of bidding. I'm not quite sure what he's basing that upon. But we'll see what dummy looks like in a moment. I've no idea. I mean, to be fair, the opponents have got 15 points between them, but I'm not sure what they think is going on to make them think they're going to make any tricks, really. Trumps might break badly, so let's just put the ace of spades on that and just cash the ace of hearts. No, they don't break badly. There you go. Well, I don't understand. Well, I mean, I suppose we could have redoubled, but if we redoubled, they might have gone into spades, which isn't necessarily the worst sacrifice, but you can see that the diamonds are going to come in. So I'm just going to cash the ace and king of diamonds and then cross off. And in fact, my diamonds are now winners. Are you happy? Okay, so I can open up the hands. The 5 and 4 diamonds are winners, so all the rest are ours. We've made an over trick in diamonds. I don't think you can bid the Grand Slam, but it just shows you, doesn't it? Partner's just got 2 points. Partner's just got 2 points. I have no idea why South felt the need to double there, but I'll take it. I don't think it's easy to bid to a slam. I think partner should have bid 5 clubs. I would have bid 5 diamonds, and then partner could have bid 5 hearts, but I don't think it's particularly easy to bid the slam there. But you can see how good the slam is. A 2-1 heartbreak, and you know, even if you have to lose a diamond, which you don't here, but even if you had to lose a diamond, it's only 1 trick. Isn't that amazing? Once you know the opponents have such a big spade fit. There you go. We would only make 1 heart, 2 diamonds and 2 spades unless partner leads a club. If partner found a club lead, we'd get a club rough as well. So they would lose quite a few points for bidding. So there you go. I mean, distribution, isn't it a wonderful thing? Listening to the opponent's bidding really does help us. Let's get the bidding quiz up, shall we? That's what we usually finish in. Let's just have a quick look at that. We're on a theme that we covered in the Fridays about a couple of months ago, or 2 or 3 months ago. 1 heart, you double to start with, because you feel you've got a really strong hand. So it goes 1 heart, double pass, 1 spade pass. Okay, so your partner's responded 1 spade, and it's your bid. So 1 heart, double for takeout from you, pass, 1 spade, pass, and it's your rebid. Okay, always quite tricky, these hands where you've got 20 points and your opponent opens the bidding. So don't forget, you can look up that answer on the site. So thank you very much. Enjoy that. Have a little think about that one as well, assuming you'd have started with a double, but I'm afraid you have no choice because I've told you you've started with a double. So have a lovely week. I'm here on Wednesdays playing teams, so do come and watch if you fancy that. On Friday, we are talking about negative doubles and when the opponents force us higher. How high do you play your negative doubles or takeout doubles? That's the question. So pop in and look at the lead quiz or the prize quiz or whatever you fancy. Okay, so thanks for your company and see you again soon.